Hey YouTube family, it's Chandel Janae. Welcome back to my channel. I just wanted to come on here and just have a real talk. I love to talk about real life, real issues, and just have a real conversation. And today I just want to talk about my real experience with marriage, just, the journey and all the things that I have learned along the way. And maybe this may help you. But before I go any further, please be sure to like and subscribe so that way you can get more of my real talk conversations about different topics and so forth. So, as you all know, me and Brandon have been married for 5 years. We've been together for 10 years. And I will say that it's truly been a journey. It's been a journey. But the main thing that I really learned throughout the 5 years is to have patience and understanding. I think those are the two things that are very important to a marriage, is the patience and the understanding. Patience because, nobody's perfect. Nobody will ever be perfect. There will be flaws within your spouse along the way. You have to be able to accept those flaws and figure out how are you going to live life with this person with these flaws that they have. These flaws are not to say like this person is not for you. We all have our flaws. Like I have my flaws. And, a lot of times I had to take a step back, look in the mirror and look at myself and look at my issues and say, okay, I'm not perfect either. So how dare I expect for him to be perfect? And, of course, we are in our early 30s, so we are still learning life itself. So therefore, I can't expect for him to know everything, to figure out everything, and vice versa when we are going through life together. Understanding is important. You have to understand your partner's mindset, how they think, how they operate, how they process things. Women, let's be real, we are, strong processors. We get things done. We get the job done. We execute. We don't procrastinate in most things. Whereas, men, sometimes it just takes them a little bit longer to process something, to process a big decision, to process, just whatever life throws at them. And so we cannot expect for them to figure it out in that very moment. Let's be real. Some of us can be very impulsive, very, very impulsive. Not everybody is impulsive. Not everybody, is able to have rational decision making right then and there. So always be mindful of that. Make sure that you are being mindful of the mental capacity of your husband or of your wife, of your spouse. Your mental capacity tank may be bigger and larger than your spouse's, and so you cannot, again, expect for them to handle so many things, so many, situations, at your mental capacity. So I definitely realized that, like, Brandon's mental capacity is different from mine and vice versa. And it's not to say that mine is better than his. His is, better than mine. It's just the fact that, okay, I have this understanding, like, he can only handle so much at a certain time and during a certain period, So just knowing that. And also, knowing your spouse's limits. Knowing their limits, knowing their triggers, that has a lot to do with just getting along. Knowing, like, okay, for example, I know that I can ask Brandon one question and that's it. Like, one question. I can't keep asking him that same question over and over and over again. If I do, like, I've already nagged him, annoyed him, bugged him, and so forth. And it's not so much a trigger for him, it's just more of an annoyance for him. And I had to learn that. So if I ask him to do something, tell him to do something, and he doesn't respond, I know he heard me. It's just that he's going to do it when he does it at his own time. Not to say like, okay, he's lesser than because he didn't do it right then and there. No, it's just the fact that he's going to move at his own pace, and I know my husband's pace, and that's just what it is. Now, did that take time for me to learn that? Absolutely. Absolutely. So, but respectfully, as long as he gets it done, as long as he handles the situation or whatever the issue is, that's what matters. And, now some things, again, I may have to say, okay, babe, this is priority. Like, we need to take care of it, like, ASAP. We can't wait. And then he'll for sure listen right then and there and respond. But if it's just something like, hey, can you put the trash to the curb? I mean, he's going to do that when he does it, as long as it gets done before the actual trash day. But it's little things like that. I know I'm bringing up small issues, but you'll be surprised. It's the small issues that leads to the bigger issues. And it plays a big role, in marriage. And more than anything, just trust, trusting your spouse. I think that is one of the biggest umbrellas, trusting your spouse. And that leads to other things, trusting that they will do what they need to do. They will, be the husband that you want them to be. And one thing that my mom, has told me throughout the years, she said, your husband will change throughout the years that you're married to them. And I didn't really I understood what she meant, yes, but now I'm seeing it. The Brandon back then is a totally different Brandon now, and it's for the better. He had growing pains, I had growing pains, and so now I'm like, okay, I'm liking this husband, but that took a while. It took time. It took understanding. It took all the things that I have just mentioned. Yes, you could live with somebody for a long time. You could live with your boyfriend, girlfriend, whomever. But once you get married, yeah, it's a totally different ball game. It's a totally different ball game because you can't just say, okay, I'm done with you and hey, that's a wrap. No, you got to thug it out and you have to work it out and figure it out, and so there's no giving up. There's a compromise. There's communication. You have to have those hard conversations. They may hurt the other person's feelings, but you just have to have those real conversations. And that's what really got us to where we are today. And I'll just say it's time. It's time. I thank God that we have made it to 5 years. If is very difficult, especially nowadays, especially with, again, the hype of social media, to where, okay, like, you have this beautiful, glamorous wedding, couples take all of these lovey-dovey pictures, and it's just like, is it legit? Is it not? And not to say that they're not legit, but I'm just saying, real couples have real problems. Point blank, period. Every couple will have a problem or more or many, so I just, again, I'm thankful that we keep it real with each other. I try to keep it real with, what I post, all the things that goes on. Some people know what we've been through. Some people don't know. That may get revealed later, but I mean, I've trickled little things here and there, but we have just been through a lot these past 5 years. My advice to you, especially if you are just now getting married, patience, time, it does get better. It does get better. It gets better as long as both parties are working to get better. It will get better. And I mean, I should have said this in the beginning, but there will be rough patches. Point blank, period. Never give up. I think that I got to that point. And I think I actually did get to that point to where I was giving up. I got caught up with these unrealistic expectations that I had in my mind for myself. social media added on to it, and then it just exploded from there, but the Lord had to humble me and bring me all the way back and remind me of the man that I married, and look at all of the great things that he's done. And yeah, that's why we're here. And even through the struggle, like, we struggle together. We definitely struggle together. It's not a separated, type of deal. It's like, hey, if we're going through it, whether it's emotionally, stressed out, financially, we are thugging it out together. And that's one thing that I love about him. He's not passing judgment on me through my hard times, through my struggles, and I'm not passing judgment on him. And it's like, what are we going to do to get out of this? What are we going to do to get better? We will get better. And, it's just a matter of time. I am no marriage guru, expert, not trying to be none of that. I am just sharing my story. And hopefully one day it will, it will impact somebody, and we can give our testimony, because it's a testimony. Y'all just don't know half of the story. It's definitely a testimony. Like, yes, indeed. But anywho, keep it real. Keep it real with yourself. Keep it real with your spouse. Keep it real within your marriage. And do not let any outside influences, temptations tempt your marriage, because it is real and it will happen. So, you do that, and all the things I said in this video, as far as in, trust, understand, communicate, and love on your spouse. Marriage will have its ups and downs, but you'll get through it. You'll get through it, and the other side is so much better. And it's nothing like having a lifelong partner. It's nothing like coming home and saying, hey, I got somebody. Like, it's nothing like that, especially if you marry the right person. So that's all I have for this real talk. And I hope y'all stay tuned for the next one. It's whatever comes to my mind. There's no script. There's no, pre-writing to this. It's just like, I'm going to make a video today, and I'm going to talk about this. So stay tuned for my next one, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.